My name is Connor Gould, and I'm the director of Don't Give Up, Keep Fighting. I got the idea for this film after I felt the urge to share a story that people can relate to. I filmed this documentary in one evening at his house. The storyline covers most of everything that Cade's family went through. Please enjoy.
For about 2 weeks or so, freshman year, I was around Christmas time. I was having trouble getting good breaths, and I couldn't sleep real good because I couldn't breathe. And so finally, one Sunday morning, I came downstairs and told my mom that I couldn't really breathe at all. So we went to the ER clinic and got some X-rays and CAT scans there. And they said they saw a mass in my lung, or pushing on my lung, and that was restricting me from breathing.
Just seemed like, well, he's going to go there and get a prescription and come away and be fine. And yet I received a very questionable phone call from her as we were just wrapping up the Sunday school portion of church that said, you need to get here to the emergency room right away.
So they diagnosed it kind of right there as lymphoma, but they weren't 100% sure. And so they took my mom out of the room and went and told her, and then she came back crying, so I knew something was wrong. Yeah, and they figured out it was lymphoma cancer from there. And then I'd been treated for about 2.5 years now, and had to get chemo treatments in the beginning every week, and then now it's once a month. And had to get spinal taps and IV treatments and pill treatments.
The biggest area of concern that I had was when he went in for the original biopsy. So this was a multi-hour surgery where they go in and they actually took a piece of the mass that was sitting over his lung. And just those hours where we weren't able to touch him or be around him and understand that he was in good shape, those were the most stressful for me. And that's when, frankly, a lot of the support from all of our families, all of our church friends, all of our close friends really came to be such a great help to us during that gap in time when we weren't able to be there with him directly.
A group of our friends from Katy, they made some shirts, and well, really it started, my mom she would write on the Caring Bridge about like updates about me and stuff, and then she would sign off saying like, oh, thanks K Nation, and you're all the prayer warriors and all that. And then finally that just became a trend, and our Katy friends actually made shirts that said K Nation and had my verse on there, Philippians 4:13, and it just ended up spreading around from there, and it was just trendy.
Not only did we have we were in the best place for Cade, but we had so much support surrounding us, and in turn that's how Cade Nation became Cade Nation, because we were overwhelmed by the amount of people, family and friends that just rallied around us to get through this time, because we knew there was nothing we could do physically, so we needed that support, because it was a very emotional time. Well, we really haven't got that confirmed to us yet, that he's truly cancer-free. As soon as his last treatment is, which is in March, a month later they'll do a blood test to confirm that there's cancer is gone for good and it's not returning. And every month after that we'll have another test to make sure. I would say probably 8 months in is when we kind of felt assured that the cancer was gone, but they didn't give us 100% confirmation, because we still had chemo to go through to make sure it didn't return. And then we had to carry through with all the chemo treatments and all the other stuff, which was an emotional roller coaster. A lot of hospital stays. I think the longest one was 16 days, and he barely got out to start his sophomore year. It was the day before, I believe, is when he was released.
And yeah, it was good to come back and see everyone and get back on a regular routine and be back to normal life.
All these events transpired that caused us to move to Richmond, to move Cade to Fort Bend Christian Academy, which in turn now we see that was totally God's plan, because if he had been in a public school situation, I think him finishing 9th grade would have been much more of a struggle, and he wouldn't have had a sister to help him through that process.
I was kind of nervous at first, because like I hadn't seen everyone for like a whole like year pretty much, and I was afraid people were gonna like bombard me with questions and like, just I was real like anxious and scared, I guess. But I came back and everyone was real like loving and accepting, and they didn't really bombard me with questions or like freak me out. So that was a little better than I expected.
So, like, the emotions of this has just been up and down for the last 2 years. But I would say the last 6 months has been pretty stable. We feel pretty confident and comfortable because he's resumed normal life. He's been able to actually play football again, removed his port. So I won't feel great till I get a clean bill of health with no chemo going in his body, because he's still got chemo going in. Once that's done and I know his body's working on its own and he's clean, that's when I'm going to feel 100%.
I think the other thing is that if we were to encourage parents going forward, it's, whatever your faith system happens to be, rely on that as much as you can. This is a time when your support system in general, whether it's family, friends, associates, etc., really has no problem coming to bear and helping out. I still get questions today from my work colleagues asking how Cade is and how we as a family are doing. Those support systems you take time to build up will really come to bear and pay off when you're in a time like this. So the encouragement I would offer to other families is just allow yourself to take advantage of those support systems. Don't rely on the fact that you think you can do it on your own. Know that you're going to need help to get through this.
I would say just stay strong and have a strong faith and trust in your family and friends to just, I don't know, just know that you're loved and don't give up fighting and just keep going.